Hip-hop thrives on moments, those wild, unforgettable scenes that go viral and live rent-free in everyone's head. But just as often, the biggest names in rap deliver moments that are straight up embarrassing. From cringe interviews and wild comparisons to freestyles that crash harder than a Lil Pump album. This culture's seen it all. And the worst part, it's all caught on camera, just waiting to be replayed a million times over. From Will Smith calling himself the Messi of hip-hop to Kodak Black going head-to-head with Ebro, here are some of the most humiliating moments in recent hip-hop history. Let's break down these L's. Will Smith's rap career was always weirdly in its own lane. He's the guy who dropped Parents Just Don't Understand, and Summertime, went platinum without cussing, then went Hollywood and never looked back.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down.
But then there was Wild Wild West, and yeah, we try to forget about that. Then there was that infamous Oscar slap heard round the world. So when Will decided to come back and prove he still had bars, people were curious. Except instead of just spitting some impressive verses, he went way overboard. During a freestyle session promoting his album based on a true story, Will Smith called himself the Messi of hip-hop. And not in a casual way either, he was serious.
Hip-hop's Messi, Neymar, and Ronaldo.
Now Will Smith's a legend, but more as an actor really. I don't think you can put him up there with Kendrick or Jay-Z. The reviews of his latest album haven't been too great either. Variety wrote that it wallows in self-psychology and an elitist's sense of what darkness is to a gazillionaire on songs such as Tantrum. Rolling Stone also didn't have many positive things to say about it. But hey, Will Smith is Will Smith. And props to him for coming out with something new despite all the hate that's been raining down on him since that 2022 slap, deserved or not.
This is the bounce back. Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's eat.
Let's eat, baby. We got some food. That's a lot of food in front of him.
But as cringy as Will's declaration was, it's nothing compared to the tension Kodak Black felt when he sat down with Ebro in the morning. When it comes down to it, the whole point of an interview is to promote your music. But when Kodak Black pulled up to Hot 97's Ebro in the Morning in 2018, things went off the rails almost immediately. See, Kodak had just dropped his album Dying to Live, and most rappers would be soaking in the hype and good press. Instead, Ebro wanted to talk about something Kodak definitely wasn't trying to discuss, his pending assault case. But I mean, at the beginning of the interview, we can kinda already see that there won't be many softball questions or a lot of love shared between Kodak and Ebro.
Well, I gotta be honest, I was skeptical on doing this interview. I saw your other interviews where you was wearing like a ski mask and all that, and I was like, I'm not really interested in talking to this.
But then about 15 minutes into the interview, Ebro brings up something Kodak clearly doesn't want to talk about.
You know, we take sexual assault here serious, and we can't, get into details, but we hope, to have you back so we can have a deeper conversation about that because, this is a serious topic, and we're hearing these stories a lot.
You could see Kodak's mood change instantly. Ebro had thrown off the vibe of the whole interview and Kodak looked like he was ready to walk out right then and there. Peter Rosenberg tried to save it with some awkward comment about Kodak thinking that the moon landing was faked, but Kodak wasn't having it.
You seem upset that I brought it up.
I feel like sometimes when like we going through shit, like y'all be entertained by shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like change the subject. I'm finna walk out.
Kodak was upset.
Not to talk about nothing else. We could be done right here.
All right, I'm going. Say less.
After the interview, Ebro expressed regret that he'd pushed so hard, and some said he was baiting Kodak into a confrontation, while others said he had a right to ask the question. Either way, the whole thing became a mess. Kanye West's career has always been a wild blend of genius and chaos, and for years that formula worked. From The College Dropout to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Kanye was a visionary, a trendsetter, and a cultural icon. But somewhere along the line, his behavior started overshadowing the artistry. Things started getting shaky with his infamous VMA interruption back in 2009.
She finished, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
But that wasn't much compared to what came later. By the mid-2000s teens, Kanye's behavior had grown more erratic, with bizarre interviews and social media meltdowns becoming almost routine.
I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google. Now who's gonna be the Medici family and stand up and let me create more? Or do you want to marginalize me till I'm out of my moment?
Or why don't you empower yourself and don't need them and do it yourself?
Halfway.
Take a few steps back, to go.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
Then came the MAGA era, where he went from calling out presidents
Loss of all. George Bush doesn't care about black people.
to openly supporting one. But even that was just a warm-up for what was coming next. From his 20 presidential campaign rants to bizarre speeches where he aired out personal family drama, Kanye's public persona was starting to look less like a creative mastermind and more like someone completely unraveling. By 2022, things hit a new low when Kanye started spouting anti-Semitic rhetoric in interviews and on social media. Brands dropped him left and right, and the fallout was real. And even then, Kanye kept pushing the envelope, appearing in interviews wearing offensive outfits, throwing out insane comments, and burning every bridge in sight. But maybe his biggest meltdown came when he walked into the TMZ headquarters in 2018. The interview started off normal enough.
Yeah. It sounds to me you got precisely the reaction you wanted by wearing that hat.
I didn't want a reaction.
You wanted a reaction.
But then he went off the rails.
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, for 400 years, that sounds like a choice.
And descended into chaos.
I'm in the hospital, right? I'm taking 2. Hey, everyone listen to this, please.
But the hero in all this was a guy named Van Latham, who stood up and dropped some truth bombs on Kanye. Not sure if they landed or not, but it was a legit effort.
Do you feel that I'm feeling, do you feel that I'm being free and I'm thinking free?
I actually don't think you're thinking anything. I think what you're doing right now is actually the absence of thought. And the reason why I feel like that
is because Kanye, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to believe whatever you want. But there is fact and real world, real life consequence behind everything that you just said. And while you are making music and being an artist and living the life that you've earned by being a genius, the rest of us in society have to deal with these threats to our lives. We have to deal with the marginalization that has come from the 400 years of slavery that you said for our people was a choice.
It's unfortunate that when high-profile guys like Kanye lose the plot, it's often in front of the camera for everyone to see, but it makes for damn good television. Smokepurpp thought he was about to light up Tim Westwood TV in 2019. Instead, he delivered one of the most cringe-worthy freestyles of all time. And it lasted 40 minutes. He sat down, confident like he was about to drop some next-level bars. But instead, he dropped the ball in the end zone.
Run my dick like a sport bike. And she know what I do like. If I go on to all night long. And shawty, you know that you just want to, yeah.
I mean, you get it, right? It wasn't good. People on the internet had a field day with it.
Hell no. Hell no, bro.
Tim Westwood's show is supposed to be a proving ground. Some of the most legendary freestyles have gone down in that studio. Instead, Smokepurpp turned it into a cautionary tale. Viewers dragged him for days, calling it the worst freestyle they'd ever heard. The comments were ruthless, people clowning him for not even attempting to rhyme, barely staying on beat, and sounding like he was making it up as he went. It was so bad that Smoke ended up explaining what happened in an Instagram live, blaming it on coming at the tail end of a long world tour and the fact that he was super high.
Yeah, so I'm on tour. The US, it was lit. It was fire weed. I was smoking mad gas. You know what I'm saying? I was lit. Mind you, 2 years ago, this is when I was really like, I was on lean. I was all type of.
Meek Mill's been in the game long enough to stack up a list of L's that people won't let him forget. Sure, the Drake beef was brutal, calling Drake out for having a ghostwriter in 2015 only to get bodied by the track Back to Back, where Drake hit Meek with lyrics like, "You love her, then you gotta give the world to her. Is that a world tour or your girl's tour? I know that you gotta be a thug for her." This ain't what she meant when she told you to open up more. This is in reference to Meek Mill's relationship with Nicki Minaj and the idea that he was riding her coattails. Then you have the pool dive incident of 2022. During a private party, Meek decided to make a big entrance, diving into the pool like he was aiming for Olympic gold. Except he ended up belly flopping so hard it looked like he just tried to swan dive into cement.
Go for it.
But maybe another embarrassing moment caught on camera involving Meek Mill was this one, filmed by Tekashi 6ix9ine, where Tekashi just ends up making a fool of himself. Tekashi was roasted pretty good when he posted that video on Instagram, with one person writing, "It's Sunday, my dude," and another, "I have better music than 6ix9ine and I look better." Getting trolled in the comments would turn out to be the least of Tekashi's problems, as soon after he was charged with some pretty heavy crimes that I can't say out loud on YouTube. Google it. So what do you think? What's the cringiest moment in hip-hop? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching.